Hi, this is Freddy.
And this is Marky.
We are here to help you get the best games at the best lowest price. And with that being said, let's get started.
Our first Xbox deal is going to be at the Microsoft Store, and this one is for a game that I've mentioned before, and I'm positive about it. Is Witcher 3 Game of the Year Edition. Normally sitting around $30, but you can grab it for just $9.99. Now, if you've been keeping up with our previous videos, you know I've talked about The Witcher before, and there's a lot more I could still say about it, but I don't want to give away anything. So I'll tell you this, of course, open world, medieval RPG with dark, mature themes, but really interesting stories, a beautiful world to explore, so many quests that branch off into their own storylines, and so many different things to do and different ways to play. It's an expansive RPG that honestly feels limitless, something that will attest to the quality of CD Projekt Red before Cyberpunk 2077. And I won't spend my time dunking on Cyberpunk, we'll just stick to The Witcher at the moment. Of course, success has seen things like a Netflix series that's getting a season 2, an animated Netflix show as well, and even a next generation upgrade, which is why this deal is important to you. Getting it at $10 and owning it digitally means that you can get the next gen upgrade, which I believe is coming out near the end of this year, for free if you have any of the next gen systems. So you can at least get ahead of the curve. And when you get a hold of your Xbox Series S or X, you can get hold of fast loading times, even more beautiful visuals, and so much more if you got a 4K TV. So it's a beautiful game. It's a lot to sink your teeth into, to be fair. It's a big game, but every moment I guarantee will be worth it. You are going to fall in love with the characters, you're going to fall in love with the world, the creatures, and the combat. And at $10, it's practically a steal at this point. So if you can check it out, I'd highly recommend it.
Marky, is the series on Netflix related to the game directly or is it separate story?
Well, here's the interesting thing about The Witcher. The game itself was based on a series of books called The Witcher. The Netflix show is, of course, being directly inspired from the novels as well. I'm pretty sure the game took a lot of creative liberties with obviously how you can tackle it. I'm sure the main structure is still pretty similar. A lot of the characters are the same, but the stories are relatively similar. Obviously, with a game, you have much more freedom. But all of these are originally come from a set of novels. Now, if you have time to read, it's worth a shot. But honestly, I'm still going to be advertising the $10 game at its best.
Awesome, Marky. I need to start get on Witcher 3, either the game or the show. I haven't done any of that yet. The next game we have is on Microsoft Store, which is Rise Legendary Edition for $7.49, dropping all the way from $30. This is one of the few exclusive games on Xbox that was released close to launch, and now it's been almost 10 years for it. People forgot about it, and that's why I wanted to remind people about this game. This is a third-person action-adventure game that takes place in the late Roman Empire era as it was falling. You'll play as a soldier called Marius Titus that wants to save Rome and take revenge for the death of his father. The visuals and the sound effect are still great considering that the game was released back in 2014. The finishing moves during combat are very cool, but unfortunately they will get repetitive sometimes. But the game is just 8 hours long, so it will end before you lose any interest in the gameplay and you feel it's getting repetitive. Also, what I like that the game offers cooperative mode, so you can play with a friend online where you'll be fighting many batches of enemies in the middle of the Colosseum, which gives the game a gladiator looking feeling. The game is free if you own Game Pass, which is something highly recommended if you own an Xbox. But if you don't have it, then the game is a good price to buy, especially if you want to experience one of the rare gladiator-like moments on Xbox.
Don't forget, if you've been enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications.
It will help our channel grow, and also it will help you get the deals as soon as we publish them before they expire. We also found some great ways to help you save more money before you make a purchase on Microsoft Store and at GameStop, so make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video.
So we've been playing with a lot of swords this week for Xbox. We've got Rise, Son of Rome for some Roman action. We've got Witcher for some even more swords, but other weapons as well. Let's tone it down a little bit and go for something a little more wacky. How about Play-Doh clay dolls rubbing up against each other and throwing each other off cliffs? Of course, I'm talking about Gang Beasts. Now, this deal is hanging over at the Microsoft Store. Normally $19.99, 20 whole dollars, but you can get it for half off at just $9.99. Now, when I talk about this game, there's not a full campaign. There's not deep combat. There barely is any character designs. This is literally just a bunch of clay dolls rubbing against each other and pressing buttons to grab and push and maybe throw and whack each other. This is a game perfectly meant for a group of friends, either locally or online. It's a very simple premise, but it causes no end of crazy excitement and fun. And of course, if you haven't been on YouTube for long, you'll definitely find Gang Beasts hanging around somewhere. And no doubt it'll cause a chuckle or two, so you can get in on it yourself for just half the price. This is a game that appeals to the silly side of everybody. So if you haven't jumped on a game this one, or if you've been playing too many serious games, this one will easily melt your heart and have you giggling and laughing all the way, especially if you've got some friends. It's worth checking out at $10, so give it a shot if you haven't already.
We need funny games, Marky, so I'm glad you mentioned this game. But I'm going back to the sword type of games, and I'm going big this time. And I picked on Microsoft Store Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Gold Edition for $25. If you're a fan of the Assassin's Creed series, then this game is the epic of all of them. Even if you didn't like the previous games in the series, I really think that you should give this game a try. Ubisoft changed the game drastically this time. The game is purely an RPG this time, in comparison to being an action-adventure game for the previous games in the series. The game takes place in the Greek era, where you'll be in the middle of the civil war between Athens and Sparta. So the story itself is very unique and interesting, and it will capture you from the very first moment. Another thing that I really liked about this game is having guided versus exploration mode. If you're an explorer type of player, then you'll get some hints about the location of your mission as opposed to pointing out the location directly on the map. Among the things that you can do is that you can examine the Greek cities, explore the big forest hunting animals. You can also dive into the deep ocean looking for hidden treasures, or even go on top of the water and participate in ship battles. These activities will reward you with upgrading your tools, which will make your gameplay later on a lot easier. You also have plenty of upgrades. Some are made to make you better silent assassin, others are for killing enemies from a large distance, and finally others are for attacking directly over a short distance. Each of these upgrades will ultimately change the way you play and approach each mission. If you're going to buy the game, we recommend getting the Gold Edition because it comes with all the extra DLCs for free, which will add about 15 to 20 hours to the story, which is a lot of fun. These DLC, if you try to buy them alone, will cost you $10 to $15, and that if they are being on sale. So buying the Gold Edition will save you a lot of money in the long term.
A couple of honorable mentions for you. Our first one is over at GameStop. This is Biomutant, a game that hasn't gone on sale yet, so I wanted to let you know now. A pre-owned copy, instead of it getting it at $55, you can get it down to $37.99. Now that's the price on its own, but of course GameStop does offer a pro membership where it's normally $15 for a year, but the main key is that you can get a $5 coupon every month that you can use for anything there, and I definitely recommend throwing it on Biomutant so that way you can get a game even cheaper, a recent release at that. Another honorable mention is the Batman Arkham Collection over at the Microsoft Store. 3 full Batman Arkham games for $11.99. Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. Full trilogy, all in one collection. Fantastic beat 'em up and action adventure games that are worth exploring, especially if you're a DC and especially if you're a big Batman fan.
Since a lot of the games that we mentioned in this video are on Microsoft Store and are digital, then make sure you check Cash App. It still offers 15% discount if you use Cash App as a method of payment. If you want to learn more, check the description below and see how you can get the referral bonus if you don't have Cash App, and then apply the discount. You can apply the discount many times every 6 hours, and you have 1 week left to enjoy and take advantage of the deal.
We hope you enjoyed this video. Please let us know in the comments if you've played any of the games that we mentioned this week.
Also, do you guys like us going into detail on some big games on sale, or do you want more games that are good on sale with less details?
Thank you, and be sure to check out our channel next week for more sales and deals.
See you!